G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for episode 9 of Wasteland Survival. So, in today's episode, we're going to start off by finishing our little hallway here. So obviously in the last episode we built this little, what do you call it? Airlock. Yeah, so we built the airlock, and that's pretty much all we did. You know, kind of built this piping system under the floor. Off camera I actually did increase the radius of the lights in this room to around about 6 meters, I think, because it was set to 5.5, but yeah, I ended up increasing it because I found that the light wasn't being evenly distributed in this tunnel. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I've changed since the last episode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right into drilling out this kind of tunnel for this one. So what I plan to do is make the hallway that leads onto all these other rooms pretty much exactly the same as what this is. So, you know, to that end, we'll basically just drill out the exact same dimensions as what we did for this particular tunnel. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. So I guess the first thing I need to do is open up this door so we can get back to our projector, and then I will turn this projector on and we'll actually project the drill guide through the mountain. So let me just select my control panel here, go to remote access, want my static grid. Now let's find our projector, that one there, turn that on, and as you can see the dimensions of that are exactly the same as what we've drilled out. So except now, is it the same height? I believe it might be one block too low. Not sure why I did that. Weird. Okay, well let's increase that to one block above. So let's move this vertical offset to 0. Awesome. And then that should now be where I want it to be. And it is. Cool, so from there I should be able to basically drill all this out. So let me just load up my HUD here and turn off all these signals because I don't need to see everything on the planet. Let's select our drill and let's get drilling. Actually, you know what? Again, I am going to change the color of my drill and the color of my welder and the color of everything else, because it is getting a little bit annoying how it always changes. Alright, cool. So that looks much better. Oh yeah, that's right, I welded up that window. I can't go that way anymore. So I don't really need to close these doors behind me, but yeah, I feel like I should be doing it anyway. Alright, well, so let's project this through the mountain a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll go back into my projector, go into the terminal, and I will move the forward offset forward a bunch. So that looks like it's about right. Yep, that looks good. Alright, well, I'm probably going to drill all of this off camera, and then I'll be back once it's all done. Well, I'm back, and as you can see, I have drilled out quite a fair bit of this hallway. So, obviously before I go and drill this part out, I just thought I would show you something quickly. So, what I'll do here is I will open up my remote control menu again. We'll find our projector. And yeah, this was actually the reason why the blueprint was one block down before. So let me just show you something quickly. So if we do that and then we set the offset to that, then I can basically follow this along and drill out this middle part here. So yeah, there's another little trick for you guys. Anyway, I will be back once I have actually drilled out this centerpiece here, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, well, as you can see, I have drilled everything out and it's looking pretty good. So what I ended up doing is projecting this through the wall about 3 times and just kind of drilling that entire way. So yeah, as you can see, this kind of hallway is about 3 times longer than this little airlock here, so I think that'll be a good start, although I do think it will need to be a fair bit longer. So obviously now what I'm going to do is just try and place all my blocks down. So we're going to need an absolute ton of steel plates for this, and I've also been thinking about changing some things in here, but I'm not sure if I will do that in this episode. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Not exactly sure, but yeah, so there is that too. So alright, well, let's go and withdraw a whole bunch of steel plates. Awesome. And then what I'll do is I'll make them this color here, and we'll start placing down our blocks. So as I said before, this hallway is basically going to be exactly the same as the rest of it, but you know, obviously it's going to be a hallway instead of an airlock. So yeah, we're going to have our blocks in the same positions, the design of the walls and everything is going to be roughly the same. It's all going to be, you know, much of muchness. And then obviously what I need to figure out as well, which is kind of going to determine the length of this hallway, is where exactly I'm going to put my oh yeah, cool, we're at the end already. I need to kind of figure out where I want to put my door, because I want the room to be, you know, X wide, Y tall, all that sort of stuff, so I have to kind of figure all that stuff out. I'm not exactly sure how big I'm going to make it, and I think the first room that I'm going to make in the base is probably going to be either cargo storage or one for the refineries and the assemblers, and I still haven't really decided if I want to make them kind of separate to the well, separate from each other, so whether I want to have refineries and assemblers all in the same room, or if I want to have the assemblers in their own little room. I'm not too sure yet. The only thing I don't like about assemblers is the fact that you can only put upgrade modules on the 4 sides in like a crosshatch pattern, so it's really difficult to build stuff next to them, and you just kind of have this repeating gap, so that's a little bit annoying, but I mean, you know, what do you do? Alright, so can I place some interior walls? I must have some plates on me. Alright, so let's place these down as well. Are they the right way around? Yes, they are. So place these down as well. And then obviously I need to dig a tunnel that goes through the center here. So yeah, there is that as well. So let me just withdraw all the components for this. So yeah, I mean, maybe we'll actually get to a point where I can finally start putting down my assemblers and refineries. So yeah, that would be nice, because I really want to start making that large grid rover, because yeah, obviously, like I said before, I've talked about it a lot and I want to actually just build it, you know what I mean? So alright, I think that's going to be it. So obviously now I'm just going to drill this little tunnel out, and I think I'll just kind of wing this one, try and stay in the middle and see how we go. And you know what, I realised I just did something a little bit silly. So obviously in the in one of the last episodes I had to drill a tunnel that was actually like 3 blocks wide, because all of these would be showing, so, or the voxels would actually show through the interior wall block. So yeah, I'm gonna have to yes, grind all these away and drill it all over again. Okay, that's all ground out. Now let's select our drill again and let's try this a second time. Alright, well that's all drilled out now, so damn, that's Quite an impressive little ditch, just for a couple of blocks. But anyway, you know, we do what we have to make things look good, right? So let's start placing all these blocks down, and yeah, then we're going to be a little bit closer to getting this all done. Alright, well that's all these blocks placed, so now we need to start welding all this stuff up. But before I do that, well actually yeah, I think I'll weld up all these blocks here on the sides first, and then from there I can start building my walls. And then obviously from there I can start building the roof, and then we can get everything else welded up. We can connect this connector to the tubing, run the tubing, and get this hallway all nice and finished. And maybe even what I can do in between all that is maybe get some sensors hooked up and get these doors opening and closing for us, like we have our own personal waiter. But yeah, so anyway, I'm going to cut to when I actually weld all this stuff up, and I will see you then. Alright, well that's all that welded up, so now I can start placing my walls. But before I do, I think I'll just reload on steel plates, because I dare say that we have used quite a few of those. Actually, how am I looking for resources? So I've got 161,000 iron, I've got 32,000 silicon, 18,000 cobalt, and 6,000 nickel. Pretty much 0 gold. I've got a little bit of silver. Plenty of ice, so I don't think we're going to run out of that. What about components? Yeah, I think we're looking pretty good, but maybe I can build some more girders and some more interior plates. Oh no, I have enough interior plates. Yeah, so I think I'm looking pretty good for resources. Not that I really need anything to build these walls and all that sort of stuff, so I have a few items in this connector as well by the looks of it. Yeah, I don't think I'll worry about any of that for now, so just for now I'll grab my steel plates, and then yeah, it looks like we don't need to do any mining for quite some time. So all of that mining that I had done before has paid off, because you know, it's kind of meant that I don't really need to do much mining now. I can just focus on getting things built. So obviously we're going to make a start on... Oh, put my jetpack on instead. Might be a better idea. So obviously we're going to make a start on these walls, and then from there the roof. And actually I just want to show you something really quickly. So you can see here that kind of line is gone, but here where I haven't welded up these blocks on the other side, the line is there and it is looking very ugly. So yeah, that's why I am deciding to put blocks here, even though the room will be airtight without them, so we don't really require them, but it just kind of makes things look a lot nicer. And I'll just make sure that there are no other random lines around the place. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so from this point I basically need to place these blocks here. Need 2x1 bases. And do I do the same for the roof? Yes, I do. So we'll place them all along there as well. Flip it around, place them there. Then we'll select the other blocks and we'll put our corner base tips, or corner bases. Other way. Yeah, that way. That's better. And then another one there. Those we are going to make this color. And then from there we are going to place these. Are they the right way? Yes, they are. So we're going to run these all the way back. Might have to turn that projector off actually. Let me just quickly do that. Remote terminal. Turn that off. Cool. Alright, so that's done. So now the projection won't be in my way and I won't accidentally weld up blocks that I don't really need to. I'll put one there. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that for now. And then obviously I need to place some blocks here. So I need to make them that color. So place 2 there. One there like that. And then from there I need to place a whole bunch going all the way back this way. And I'll do the same for this side as well. Whoops. Let's grind that. Okay. So, and the reason why I'm placing blocks here is because if I don't, then if I place like, so let me just show you an example. And I did show you this in the last episode, but yeah, I mean, I guess I'll go over it again. So if I place that block there and weld it up, then you'll kind of see this line here. Whereas if I put this block here, then, you know, the line disappears. So that's kind of what I'm trying to go for here, is no ugly lines. So yeah, we are going to weld all this stuff up. So we'll place another one there. We'll place one there and one there. Actually, I think I did that wrong. Yeah, I did. So let me just show you what I mean in a second. So let's get some more steel plates. It's amazing how fast you can go through steel plates in this game. Well, I guess it's not really amazing, you know, when you're building massive projects like this, but yeah. So anyway, the block that I was talking about that I missed was this one here. No, it's on this one. So this one here. So that's the block that actually goes there. And yeah, so basically our window will end up going all the way along here. And at some point, I need to figure out where I'm going to put the first room. So let me just quickly weld up all these blocks here. Alright, well that's all those blocks welded up. So now what I need to do is grind this one away. Yep. And then let me just grab even more steel plates. And if you have a look here, we have gone through, oh geez, it's got to be at least 4,000 I reckon. So yeah, we're burning through the steel plates pretty quick. But that's alright, I still have plenty of iron, so I should be able to manufacture a whole heap more. But at least, you know, I'm getting good use out of my iron deposit. So now I've got to place all these blocks along here. And yeah, so I think once I've done this, I may even just try and figure out how I'm going to place the refinery room. I think that will be, well, that and the cargo room will probably be the 2 first rooms that I end up offshooting off this little hallway. So I kind of want to figure out where I want to put them. But the thing is, I'm not exactly sure if I want to make them odd or even numbers. So yeah, that's always one thing that, you know, especially because I'm going to have like 2 rooms coming off this hallway here. So I don't know if I really want to do that. Make it odd. Because maybe that will come back to bite me later, but I'm not sure really. Something I really need to think about. So we'll just quickly weld these up. Okay, well that's all done. So now we just need to put our windows in. So yeah, as I said before, maybe what I can do now is try and figure out roughly where I want to put my refineries and that. So what I'll do is I'll grab a refinery. And it looks like I can actually place one here. So basically the way I want this room to be is I want it to be, I want it to have refineries on either side. But they'll probably need to be placed about like that. So then what I will do is I will get my my speed modules here and there, and then what I'll do is I'll create a catwalk that runs through here, and then obviously we have our speed modules kind of showing, and then we'll have the refineries back to back to back. And then obviously from, well, not obviously I guess, but you know what I mean. So from there, then I'll have 1 block spacing, because basically at that point I'll have pillars that run up the wall. So something kind of similar to how I've got that going on. I'll have pillars that come up to the wall, and the roof will be of a similar design to this roof here. So I think, so how many blocks is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I kind of need to drill a hole or a room, those dimensions. So 9 blocks by about. And also what I think I will do as well is, and honestly this is very similar to how I did it with my Mars base, but the design will be subtly different. So I don't know, it's just something that I know how to do, so I'm just going to kind of stick with that. I could try and reinvent the wheel and redo an entire refinery room, but I think this will probably be a good way to start. So as I was saying, I will probably sink these refineries down 1 level, so they'll probably sit on a level like this, and then obviously I don't think you'll be able to see the conveyor tubes here, or maybe you will. I'm not sure. Maybe I will integrate that into the design as well, just to make things look a little bit nicer. So yeah, as I was saying, the room will be sunken down one block. And so how tall will this need to be? So obviously let's just assume that this is our floor for now, but it really isn't. So it looks like the refinery is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks tall. So I think I need to make the room about 5 blocks tall. So I'll basically, so if I do that, how tall does it actually need to be? So this is 9 wide, but if I drill at this point, then my voxel wall will be at this point. So I could even do something similar like what I've done out in the hangar, and I could just leave the walls totally exposed. Yeah, maybe that is something I will do. I'm not exactly sure just yet if that's what I'm going to do. So obviously, so let me just note this down, and then I'm going to grind all this away. And before we get too excited, we'll finish off this room here. It's probably a good idea to finish off the room that we are working on before thinking about designing another room. But one's mind does tend to wander. So let's withdraw some steel plates and let's complete this. Actually, no, I don't want to withdraw steel plates. I have interior walls. You know what? Let's do the roof. Let's do the roof. So with the roof, now I kind of need to place some blocks at this point here. So I'll select my. That's weird. There's another grid here somewhere that my local grid alignment is locking onto, and it's getting really annoying. So I don't know where it is though. It's a bit strange. But oh well, I suppose it doesn't really matter. So let's just start laying out our roof here. Turn my local grid alignment off because it's locking to some random block somewhere that's been placed into the ground, and it thinks that that is our local grid. But I don't know why it thinks that. It is a little bit confusing to me, but I'm sure I will find out the offending grid at some point. And while I was off camera, I did kind of have a bit of a peek at the hangar, and oh man, it is absolutely riddled with holes from lightning storms. So I think at one stage I'm going to need to think about creating some sort of decoy arrangement above these blocks in the roof somewhere, so that, you know, the lightning will strike the decoys rather than blowing holes in my lovely base. And as I think somebody pointed this out in the comments, I'm pretty sure they did, but yeah, somebody said, yeah, get a decoy and use it as, or put a welder next to it, so that every time it gets struck by lightning, then it gets fixed. So I thought that was a really good idea. So you know what? I think I'm going to use that idea. That was great. Whoever came up with that, please let me know. Please let me know down in the comments. And yes, I will give you a shout out for that. That was an awesome idea. What's going on here? Have I got auto alignment on or something? Maybe I do. Let's weld these up. And then we'll grab our number 6 block. We'll change the color of it to this, and then we'll place it here. Half slope inverted light armor. Okay then, I guess that's what that block is called, but I can never really remember what the block is called. Where's my half block? Oh, wrong one. There it is. Right, so let's place all these along here. That's done, and now we should weld up all this stuff, and I think we're going to be in business. And I think what I'll do as well is just to try and break this room up a little bit, maybe what I can do as well is I can do something like, you know, placing a block like there, and then maybe like a little corner block there and there, and so on and so forth, and then another one of those there. Let's just see how that looks. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad actually. Maybe I can do that all the way along this one here. So, and it just gives a little bit more shape, a little bit more dimension. You know, I would like to, or maybe I can go like this and use the other ones. So these ones here. Decisions. Oh, yes, of course it is. I do like the little kind of pod look though of these little corner pieces, so maybe I'll just rock with them. So alright, well, let's get some more fuel here. Alright, now that I've refilled, I need to get myself some steel plates. Get all them. And then I will weld all this up. So I will be back once that's done. Alright guys, well, as you can see, I have welded up this entire space. So yeah, it's looking pretty nice. While I was away, I kind of had a bit of an idea to do with the refinery room. So I know that I said I was going to make that room probably about 9 by 5, but I think what I'll do instead is I'll make it about 11 by 5, and I'll kind of, yeah, so you're basically just going to have to wait and see what I'm going to do with that particular room. So yeah, there is that as well. So let me just withdraw all the components for these interior walls, and obviously we're going to have to weld up all these as well. So the only problem with interior walls is, as you can see, they take up more space in the inventory than what regular steel blocks do, so it's going to take quite a while to actually weld all these up. So I'll probably do a lot of this off camera, and then once that's done I'll be back. Alright, well, that's everything all welded up nicely. So obviously now what I need to do is place down my catwalks. Well, actually, you know what? Before that, I need to actually place down the conveyor tubes. So let's just go ahead and do that. So let me just select my conveyor tubes here. Conveyor tube, that one there, and withdraw all the components for that. And then we'll place all them down, and then we will be golden. But I think before I actually go ahead and do that, what I might do instead is kind of figure out where I want to start placing the door for the room that I want to create in this base. So to that end, as I said before, I kind of want to make this room 11 blocks wide, because I have a bit of an idea of what I want to do with that. So let's just, should I go from this point or should I go from this point? I think I might go from this point and then we'll just see how it looks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. And that will be the middle of 11 blocks. Maybe I'll go 2 more blocks. So 1, 2. And let's just place a block here and see where we're at. Place interior block because I don't actually have any steel plates on me. And again, my grinder and my drill have changed color. Oh man, I tell you guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll have 5 blocks either side. So what I'll do is I'll place my door here. Let's just place a door. And maybe what I can do is place one of these doors. Looks like I don't have the components, so let me just go and get some steel plates. So let's withdraw some steel plates. Okay, now we got some steel plates. Let's go ahead and we'll place our door here. No, wrong one. So we'll place our door probably like that. So is my window going to join up with that? Yep, it'll join up with that fine. So I don't know, maybe I can use these doors, or I can use the standard old doors that we've had in the game since day one. So I can use them as well. I do kind of like these doors. They do look a little bit industrial like. So obviously then what I got to do is drill a hole through this wall here and then start making our room. So I'll just double check that this is the right length. Yeah, so I think that's looking pretty good. Just quickly counted that. Maybe what I'll do before I get too far ahead of myself and start building this room is I'll actually lay down these windows and then we can kind of go from there. So I need to place a window there like that, and then I need to do the same on this side. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this block here needs to be a window. So place that there like that, and that should be looking good. So, and then our door should be here. Awesome. Okay, so I think that's going to look pretty good. The only problem is that I can kind of make these doors, I can make them so that they are, I can kind of create a hallway, but I don't know if I really will be able to make a hallway because then the block is going to kind of occupy this space here. So let me just place like a block in this space. So if I put a block there, then through this window you'll be able to see that block. So maybe instead what I can do is kind of make it so that it uses different types of blocks. So maybe I can try a block like this. And put that block there so that I still have like kind of a wall here, but you know, it's not obvious that I have a wall there. Or maybe what I can do instead is I can use a block like this, so we can kind of create a walkway through a bit of a tunnel, but not actually, you know, kind of make it so obvious that there are blocks there. So yeah, maybe I can do that. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly go away and I'll weld up all these windows, because, you know, kind of need to. And then I will drill my hole here, and then I will see how it all looks. Maybe what I might end up having to do is basically going and basically making them so that the window doesn't actually occupy this block here, and you know, it's just kind of a regular armor block. Maybe I could actually pop the door out a little bit as well. So let me just play with this a tiny bit here. So maybe what I could do instead is place a block here. Good old freezing, loving it. Place a block there, and then grab my light armor tips and place them there like that. And then we can drill this out, or grind this out rather. I can get my other blocks that we used on the other side over there, and I can place them like this. So we can go like that, and then put our half block, which is this one here, like that. And obviously, you know, that's kind of the wrong color, so we'll just quickly recolor this, and then we'll make those the correct color. And I actually think that doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty good, to be honest. I'll just quickly weld this up. Yeah, and then from here we have two options. We can either make the door countersunk into this space here, or what we can do is we can use the doors that were added in the Frostbite DLC, and that's the offset doors, and then we can spin them around and we can put them like that. So it gives it a nice flush kind of feeling. The only thing I don't like about these doors is I have had a few issues with them not sealing correctly, so there is that as well. So yeah, I don't know which doors I will use, but it's kind of irrelevant which doors I'm going to use for this, because, you know, it doesn't really matter too much. So okay, now as I said before, I want these rooms to be 11 blocks wide. So but what I might have to do instead is, so one of the issues I think I might run into, right, is if I have two rooms that are 11 blocks wide, then they're going to basically share the same wall. So what I need to ensure is that these rooms here, even though they are 11 blocks wide, any other rooms that I create aren't 11 blocks wide. Because I basically want to have 1 block spacing between each room, and it's a little bit hard to kind of visualize that at this stage, but yeah, that's kind of what I need to watch out for. So it is one of the issues that I kind of ran into in my Mars save, so I kind of want to try and avoid it in this one. So what I'll do is I'll go away and I'll weld up all these blocks, and I'll replicate this over there, and then what I'll do is I will make it the same, you know, 11 blocks down, and then, you know, we'll kind of define the ends of this room. So I'll see you guys in a second. Alright guys, well, as you can see, I've finished welding everything up, and it's looking pretty good at this point, except for these two little bits here. But I seem to have run into a little bit of an issue. So if we kind of imagine that this room here, which contains the refineries, or, you know, the cargo containers, in the case of this other room here, basically what's going to happen is we're going to have a room. You remember I said that the room is going to be 11 blocks wide. So if we say that this is going to be the block in the middle, then it's going to be 5 either side of this block here. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then that's all good. You know, it's in a place where it's kind of acceptable to be there. But if we go across here, then if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then I end up over here, and I can't make this room that many blocks wide. So obviously we're going to end up here. What I want to do is I want to kind of end up in the middle of a windowed block on this side. Now I guess there's two ways in which we can kind of fix this. So the first way is that I can delete these two windows here, and I can just shorten this window and then kind of have it so that it's like, you know, a bit closer to this wall here, and then that will give us the space that we need. But I don't know if that will look very good. So I think instead what I will do is I will lengthen this window here by 2 blocks either side of this. So I'll add in another 2 blocks here, and I'll actually make this tunnel 2 blocks longer than what it is now. And probably it'll need to be about another 5 blocks longer to kind of accommodate these blocks here that then lead up to the door. So yeah, and the funny thing is I actually added another couple of blocks to this window here because I realized at the start that it wasn't an odd number across all the way of this hallway. So, but even then, that's still not enough to accommodate all these rooms. So I think what I'll do is I will go away and I will do that. I will lengthen this hallway by another, 5 or 6 blocks or whatever it needs to be. And then once I've done all that, I will be back. Alright, well, as you can see, everything has been welded up now. Apart from this, like, kind of little bit in the middle here, but that's kind of irrelevant at this point. But yeah, so basically I've gone ahead and I've actually added these additional blocks in here. It took me quite a while to do this, but I think in the long run it's really going to be beneficial for us. So let me just double check this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I mean, we don't really have an extra block in between, so we may have to share a common wall between different rooms, but I think these rooms here are going to be some of the widest at the front here, so I think that will be good enough. So obviously, between this block and this block, there's only 4 spaces, so when it should be 5, but like I said, I think that should be good enough. So I think I'll just kind of rock with that, and yeah, we'll kind of go from there. So let me just quickly finish up all these other light armor blocks, and I'll put a door in the back here, but to be honest with you, I don't even really know what I'm going to do with that door. I may just kind of leave it the way that it is. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think at the end of this, I'll create like a stairwell that will go upstairs to a control center that will kind of poke out the top of the mountain, but I think that's going to be very later on, a lot longer on in the process of this base, so I'm not really too worried about that right now. I'll probably just focus on trying to get all these refineries and assemblers up and running, so I'll be back once all this is welded up, and we'll go from there. Alright, well, this is all welded up now, so if I close this door, then everything should be nice and airtight. Obviously now what I need to do is kind of add my lights to this, so I may just go ahead and actually do that. And this was actually one of the reasons why I figured out why this room wasn't going to work, was the fact that none of these lights were kind of working out. So let me just withdraw a whole bunch of components for these lights, and and let's see how we go with placing them. So now what I should be able to do is just place them one at a time, and with one block spacing, much like what I did with the airlock, and they should all end up in the middle somewhere, and actually they don't there, but that's okay. At least it ends up in the middle there. So place all these down. Fantastic. Alright, so that is a big relief for me. Yeah, as I said, the first time I went to place all these lights down, I realized that this entire hallway was not odd, and therefore I would need to do some really sneaky things to get these lights to work. So let me just go ahead and weld all these up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll play with the settings for these. Alright, well, they're all welded up now, so now we have enough light. What I'm going to do now is basically just change all these lights up. So let's have a look at our interior lights. The only problem is I totally forgot to rename the lights at the end of the hangar, so I guess I'll just have to kind of wing it and select all these final lights here and then see where we're at from there. So let me just change the color of these to, like, let's say yellow. Make sure we've got all of those lights, and we do, except for that one there. So not sure what number that light is, but let's have a look here. Interior light, so 70. Let me just select all these again and then see where we're at. 49, that's the one that I missed. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to kind of set these to the same color as the other ones in the airlock. I've decided to make them this color, just because I think that's going to be the way to go. So I'll set the fall off to 2.0, I'll set the intensity to 1.2 again, and the offset, I'll just leave that for now. And what I think I need to do is rename all these lights. So we'll call this hallway roof light 1, and then I'll go and rename all of these, and then once that's done, then what we can do is we can start thinking about the radius of these lights. And I actually don't know what the radius I have set for the airlock, but I'm going to make it exactly the same as that. So okay, so they're all renamed now. So now what I want to do is search for my airlock lights, and we'll just grab these as a kind of reference point. So we have our front airlock roof light, and it looks like I've set the radius for that to 9 meters. So let's have a look at our hallway roof lights, and let's set the radius for these to exactly the same as that. Fantastic. Alright, so now we have some decent light through this here hallway. So now what I need to do is kind of set up some lights on the floor here, much like what I have done here, and then we need to obviously set up the grated catwalks, upside down grated catwalks through here, and then yeah, we can kind of go from that point. So, but before I get too far, one thing I need to do as well is I need to kind of set up these conveyor junctions. So what I mean by that is, so roughly what is going to happen is I'm going to have conveyor junctions at this point here, and then they're going to run underneath the floor and into the other rooms. So I'm going to place them like this. It doesn't really matter what orientation the top is because we're not going to see that. And I will do the same for here, and we will quickly roll these up. Fantastic. Alright, so they're all welded up. I think actually what I might do is just grind out these blocks here next to them because I don't really need them to be there anymore. So let's just do that for the other one, and then once that's done I'll be back again. Okay, so that's all done. So now I should be able to spawn some tubes off the side of these, and that will work quite nicely. And then what I'll do as well is I will grab my interior wall blocks and I will just place them on top of these conveyor junctions. So then they're all nice and hidden and we won't really see them. Quickly weld those up. The only problem is you do kind of see that little space there, so I think what I'll do is I'll place conveyor junctions behind these conveyor junctions, and then yeah, we can kind of go from that point. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. So let me quickly just add in all these tubes, because I mean you guys have seen this process before, so I don't think it will be really necessary to drag you through the whole thing. So yeah, I'll just go away and I'll do that and then I'll come back. Alright guys, well, as you can see I've welded all this stuff up and it is looking really slick. I'm really happy with how this is turning out, if I don't say so myself. So, the final thing I need to do to finish off this hallway is get rid of these blocks here. The other thing I need to do obviously is basically just replace these lights behind these windows. Or not replace them, but actually place them there in the first place. So as you can see, I have these lights here that kind of illuminate the voxels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very similar behind these blocks as well. So let's just quickly grind these out, and let's do the same here as well. Do I have enough space here though? That's the problem. Whoa. I don't want to shoot things, I want to place things. So I think if I go like that, then I think that should be okay. Let me just confirm that. So let's go into remote access terminal. Let's find our corner lights, and then let's play around with the offset of these. And yeah, so they're actually in the wrong position, so I'm going to have to grind these out and I'm going to have to reset them. So as you can see, they're like that. So I'm going to have to spin them around, turn them upside down, and then place them like that. And then let's weld these up. And now let's see what the offset is like now. So let's find our corner lights again. And let's reset the offset. And beautiful, it is moving downwards. So I'm not sure what I set the accent lights for the other one. So let me just memorize this. So offset 4, intensity 1.2. Okay, cool. So let's just set these ones the same. Let's see how we're looking now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I reckon that looks pretty good. It's very similar to that light over there. So let's go ahead and we'll place this back in here. These blocks there. Roll these up. And now we just have to do the same for every single light. Or for every single window, which is going to be a bit of a time-consuming process, but I don't know. I think it's worth it because I think it gives it a lot better look overall. Alright, well, all these lights are now done, so as you can see it's looking pretty slick. We have our nice accent lights behind these windows to kind of show off the voxels and the walls of this mountain. Kind of remind us that we are actually underground, and we're not just in some kind of airtight little space. So as you can see, I've also placed these lights here. All the conveyor tubing is all finished up, the catwalks, everything like that. And on either side of here I have my doors. So basically what I want to do, right, is I think I need to, so if I just open up this door, I need to have 2 blocks worth of spacing in between this door and the next door. So, and the reason for that is because I want these voxels to kind of show where they are. So if we have a look at this door, then this door is right on the edge of these voxels. So if I then put my room directly behind the other door, then I risk damaging these voxels and they're not going to look so good. So I think what I'll do is, just to be safe, I'll drill into this wall 2 blocks deep, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let me just do that right now. So I think that should be far enough, but let's see where we're at. What color have I got here? Let me just select the correct color. I'll change my alignment mode. And funny thing is, you guys remember how the blocks were acting a little bit weird, and I was having this issue where the blocks were like trying to align to another grid. Well, I actually figured out what that grid actually is. So it turns out it's the drill template that I've made. The one for, I can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, so this whole time that's what was causing it. So let me just place some more blocks here on the roof and on the sides here. Let's weld all these up. Okay, and then I'll turn my lights on so I can actually see what I'm doing. We'll select this, and yeah, we'll kind of go like that.
No energy.
So it's a bit strange. I didn't think that I would die where I am at the moment. Oh, it looks like there's a storm going on, and it is actually currently an inferno, considering, you know, the fact that it looks really good in here. Actually outside it's an inferno apparently. Anyway, that should do for now. We should have enough charge to continue doing what we were doing before. I went a little bit far. Let me just grind these out. Let's turn my lights on, open up my mask, so the sound isn't so bad. Drill this space out just a little bit more, and then I'll select my blocks again, and I will place these down once more. Okay, now let's see what it looks like from this side. Yeah, so I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, the colours are looking not too bad. There is a little bit of a line there, so maybe what I can do is make these blocks here and the ones behind this door the same colour as this, or what I can do is make these this colour, so you know, I can kind of do that to kind of further accentuate the fact that there is a room there. Maybe I'll go with this colour here. I think that kind of breaks it up a little bit. And the best part about doing it on these blocks is it doesn't seem to create that ugly grey line, which makes me very happy. So let's grind this down. Let's make that block, that block, that block this colour. And now when we peek through there, all we can see is nice clean blocks. Yes, this is doing wonders for my OCD. Alright, let's place that block back there, and we'll weld that back up. Cool. That's welded up. Now let's place another couple of blocks here, because obviously I want my... so my door will end up here, and I think this is also going to be where my wall is. So if I just place my door here, like that. Let me just grab the components for that said door. And let's finish welding it up. Fantastic. Alright, so that's all welded up. So now I don't think we're going to be at any risk of damaging the voxels behind us. So this is going to be my wall. So obviously past this point here. So I'll quickly just drill that out there. So now kind of what I need to figure out is, yeah, I kind of need to make a template for this now. So, alright, well let's quickly go and do that. So let's withdraw a whole bunch of steel plates, because I suspect that I will need absolute ton of steel plates. So let's select everything that I can carry, and before we get too far I will actually go into the O2H2 generator and I will refill all my bottles while I'm at it, because something tells me I'll run out while I'm right in the middle of doing it all, and it will be a bit of a pain. Alright, so I should probably grind down all these other templates here. So, alright. Well, nevertheless, let's go ahead and let's get started on, you know, I can't remember, I've lost count at how many templates I've made in this series now, so it's got to be at least 10. So, alright, let's start our block there. So, as I said before, it's going to have to be about 11 blocks wide. So, we'll go 11 blocks. And I believe it needs to be 5 blocks tall. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me just double check this by placing down a refinery. So, okay. So if I was to drill on this X, then this would then become my floor. So to kind of gauge what height I need this to be, then I need to basically place my refinery here. And then what I will do as well is I will place another refinery here. And then I will grab my speed module, and that will end up there. And then my other speed module will end up there. And that is basically what I want it to be. Is that correct? That doesn't seem right. I think I've messed up here. Yeah. Maybe I need to make it even 1 block further again. And then... do I need to make it 12? Jeez. Maybe I've miscalculated this entire thing this whole time. Oh man, I feel so silly. Oh, what have I done? Alright. Let's place that there. Let's place this block here, and then I'll have a middle piece there. Oh, wait there. No, it doesn't. Yeah, no, that's right. So yeah, it does have to be 11 blocks. So because obviously if I drill that out, then my wall is going to be here. So yeah, it is 11 blocks. Oh man, I was stressing out there for a second. Is that embedded into the mountain? Yes, it is. Alright, let me just drill this out. And then get rid of that. And then we'll put our blocks up here. And 1 block. Bye. Now it should be all along here. So, yeah, it's... that's what I mean. It's sometimes hard to gauge what kind of size you want a room to be when you're creating one of these templates, because the blocks that you're placing, the wall is going to be on the other side of those blocks. So similarly with this, I'm going to need a blocks kind of spacing so that I can put my lights. But obviously when I drill here, then I'm going to remove voxel here, and this here is going to be my roof, and then from there I will be able to place my lights. So okay, now we can go ahead and we can get rid of this refinery, or these refineries, and let's just triple check the amount of blocks that we have here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Magic. Okay, so that is exactly what I wanted. So I think with this particular template I am going to put the walls in because I think I'm going to need that. The only thing is I haven't really determined what kind of length this room needs to be. So yeah, there is that as well. So what I'll do is I'll find the midpoint, so that should be here, and I'll place a couple of blocks there just so that I can have them kind of poking out where so that will be the hallway where those two doors are that we just set up just before, and they'll poke through there, and then this will kind of give me an idea of where I need to place all these blocks. So I think I'll go away and I'll finish up this template, and then once I've done that I'll be back. Alright, so I thought I would show you guys roughly what this room's going to look like. So let me just place a block here because I can see one that's missing. So obviously this is what it's going to look like. Now, as you can see here, and it's a little bit hard to see because there's so many wireframes, this is going to be my refineries. So I'm going to have 4 on either side. So they're going to be like that. And then what I plan to do is I plan to have a catwalk that comes out 1 block, and it will sort of come out to this point, and then from there it will work its way through this way, and then it will work its way back, and then what I will have is I will have some assemblers that are sitting on the floors here. So if I place a block there and then an assembler, let me just place an assembler there, and then what I'll do is I'll place a speed module for the assembler. Alright guys, well, as you can see I have completed the template. So yeah, this is what I'm going to use to project through the mountain to then create our room, and then we are finally going to build our refineries and our assemblers in this room. So, but anyway, the time has kind of gotten away from me in this episode, so I am going to unfortunately end the episode here, and you guys are unfortunately going to have to wait until next episode when I finish up all this stuff and we start drilling out this room and we start filling it out with assemblers, refineries and all that sort of stuff. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 9 of Wasteland Survival, and please consider leaving a like if you like this video, and definitely consider subscribing if you want to see more content. Thanks guys, and I will see you next time.